Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Tim Mason, owner and CEO of Castle Fence 360 Security Consultant. And we are still based here in Lebanon, Missouri. Don't see us leaving anytime soon until we get really big and we have to move. Alright, I just wanted to come to you today and have a little discussion. We've done training videos and helpful tips for home defense, but we haven't done a discussion. I like to discuss things. I like to share my knowledge and help educate other people. Security, well, it's very, very tough field to be in. There's a lot of pushback of being called fearmongers. Well, you take advantage of others' tragedies to benefit yourself. No, we don't take advantage of other people's tragedies. In fact, we are the opposite of that. We take advantage of the opportunity to help people, train them, educate them, and yes, protect them on business trips or vacations maybe. But let me ask you this. Okay, I'm a security professional. I'm posting everything that's bad and some good things because you have to have some balance. Okay, so if I'm a fearmonger for sharing something that somebody else did, somebody else shared, such as the media, but I'm a fearmonger. So fast food restaurants, I don't know how many commercials I see for that stuff. Does that mean they're trying to tell society to eat all this junk food and be fat? No, they're not doing that. They're trying to make a living and make people feel good. I feel good when I eat junk food. But we're not fearmongers. We are educators. We tell people what's going on. We tell people what can be done and what should be done. Then we go into telling them that, hey, we can help. We're here to help you. Even security professionals, we don't all know everything. It's impossible. We cannot guarantee ever 100% breach-proof defense system. It's just impossible. There are too many variables, as you see with ISIS. They're coming up with new ways to attack us. Some are very simple, like the vehicle and a knife attack. And yes, something can be done about those. We'll get into that another time when we talk about defensive measures and stuff you can do. I'm not going to go into a whole long spiel about active shooter, okay? And this is why. It's all over the place. People know what it is. I'm tired of saying the words active shooter. I'm tired of hearing the words active shooter. And that's one of the reasons we changed our course name to active attack or threat response, because it's not just about a gun. They're not just using guns. They're using vehicles. They're using knives. They're using bats and machetes. But in the end, it's about people protecting themselves, preserving their life and possibly the lives of others, friends, families, even strangers. I think it's human nature, really, to want to help others, especially when it comes to a deadly incident happening. Now, this is what I'm going to say about active shooter. It's way past time to talk. It's time for action. The talking does nothing. If you're not reaching out to people, now there's other companies like mine that offer active shooter, and from what I've seen, they're really good. You need to reach out to them people. Get educated, even if it's a hour-long seminar. Get educated, learn some things. Again, we don't know everything, but we could probably get you an answer really quick. The more you know about something, and this is human nature, the more you know about something and you're prepared for something, the better you feel about yourself and those around you. I took a seminar for 2 hours, learned about bomb threats, anti-terrorism, active shooter. You know what? I feel a lot better. And I'm going to tell people in my workplace, at my church, at my school, what I learned, and again, it can be from anybody. It doesn't have to be from us. We would think you would, or hope you would want us to teach you, but everybody has their own area that they do, I guess. We have no problem traveling. But back on topic. You need to be part of the solution. If you're not part of the solution, in this case, you're really not part of the problem, but you're also not helping others. You can do something to stop and prevent terrorism. It happens all the time. There are average citizens that have led to terrorist attacks being executed because they saw something, they said something, law enforcement followed up because it was a solid lead. You can do something. Be educated. What's the old saying? If you're afraid of something, face it. Face your fears. If you're afraid of the subject of active shooter or active attacker, why not come and learn how to do something about it? If there's one shooter, pistol, rifle, it doesn't really matter. And there's 30 of you standing around, why are you running to hide? There's 30 of you. Okay, so he's got a rifle, so we'll take 5 off. You have 25 people. It's still 25 to 1. Why aren't you going after that guy? Because even if he shoots 1 or 2 of you, which is definitely unfortunate, one statistic is bad. I don't even want 1, but it's inevitable. Most of the time, there's going to be at least 1 victim that gets shot. But if that prevents that man or woman from shooting 20 or 30 people, don't you think that's worth taking the proactive approach and doing something about it? By nature, if something is thrown at us while we're focused, our focus changes to that thing that's getting thrown at us. And of course I took, and throughout law enforcement, what I see is the OODA loop. And OODA loop is basically what I just said. You throw something at me and I'm focused, my focus is going to change. And then I have to recycle through that process to go back to what I was doing. Now, if you say it's an ISIS fighter, a lone wolf that's here, and it has been radicalized, okay? He may be on drugs, maybe not. As far as I know, ISIS doesn't even really allow their fighters to use drugs because they want them to think clearly. But they still do. They still do it. If they're on drugs and they're all amped up, there's a good chance that their focus isn't going to change a whole lot, depending on what type of drug they're on. But you still have to do something. Yell at the person. It's instinct that he's going to shift his focus or her focus. Okay, I said I wasn't going to go on about that, but that's my take on it. Guns, okay? Love guns. I've shot everything from a 9mm, actually everything from a 22 to an automatic grenade launcher to a Miklik charge, which is 1,764 pounds of explosive attached to a rocket. Now, guns, false sense of security. You know why? Because they're only a tool. What makes them effective and dangerous is the person. I've had people say, well, I got a gun because of all the crime, and it's been in my box for 6 months. Why is it in your box for 6 months? Have you gone to the range just to be familiar with it? CCWs, great class to take. I really think they need to bring back a mandated CCW course, but that's another issue altogether. CCW, most of the time, you sit there in a classroom, learn rules, regulations, and something about weapons and safety. You go to a range, 7 yards out, paper target, hit 11 times, and you're done. You're not done. That's just the beginning, because in order to be a responsible CCW carrier, you need extensive training on when to do it. You need stress training. You need to be put in a situation where somebody is actively trying to hurt you. Only then will you be able to estimate if you're going to be able to shoot or not. I can almost guarantee 90% of the time, if somebody is going to pull a gun in this situation, even if they pull it in time, guess what their mistake's probably going to be? Take it off the safe. And as soon as you do that and you point that gun, guess what? You are the next immediate threat and you will be taken out. So you were very ineffective. I've had lots of people say, well, you know, there's a bunch of us in this office and we all have our CCWs. Great, that's awesome. That's being responsible. And that's the right stuff. But my response to them is, really, that is great. You probably even know how to use your gun. But would you be able to react properly in the event somebody came in to attack you? His jaw dropped, and I said, have a nice day, sir. Call me in the future. That's realistic thinking. You know, I have a gun. Okay, if you're not trained on when to use it under stress, you're not going to be effective. And it's just like you might as well throw a rock at the person. And all of these skills and stuff like that goes into a wide variety of scenarios, from home defense, carjackings, you know, sexual harassment, you know, out in public gatherings. There's a wide variety of scenarios. And have to revert back, that's why it's called active attacker threat response. It's for it happening to you in a variety of scenarios. Okay, difference between trained and untrained. Like I said, if you're not practicing individual tactics, if you're not, especially if you're in a high threat area, if you are not clearing rooms in your home at least once a week and setting your home up strategically in case somebody came in, you have a weapon close at hand, you probably don't. Do you know how to navigate your home in the dark? Do you know what the best defensive weapons are that are improvised? Some people do. I'm sure a lot of people do. Do you do an assessment every time you come home? Do you look around your house? Training adds a lot of value. In the military, we train and train and train. We train for a year before we even deploy to combat. And once we get there, we train some more. We are always training. That's why we become very proficient at what we do. But it's key. If you're not reaching out and getting unconventional training, you're not doing yourself any justice. Get something that doesn't seem normal and try it out. It's outside the box thinking. The old ways and thought process, they just don't work. They're not feasible anymore. We as a nation have to change our game plan and our thought process and approach things differently. Last thing I'm going to say, terrorism. It's no joke, ladies and gentlemen. Just because they're not targeting you in your area at this time, it does not mean that they're not going to in the future. Ariana Grande concert. Really? A whole bunch of kids. I didn't even see that one coming. But it just goes to show you they have no boundaries. They have no mileage limits. They have no regard for human life. They don't care about destroying things. They prey on that fear. Show them you're not afraid. Do something about it. Don't whine and rant on social media saying, I'm scared, I'm scared. Do something about it. Quit being scared. It's very simple. Nothing I do is lacks common sense. It makes a lot of sense. Face your fear, deal with it. Don't wait until it happens, because then you're already damaged. There's been loss of life. There's been injury. There's been chaos. Can you respond right now if I came into your place of business, even with an airsoft gun, and started shooting? I bet I could get a lot of people at once. And that's what you have to think about. That's the mentality and thought process you need to have. Is, would we be able to do anything? Would we be able to take care of it? Or will people die around us? And if you change your way of thinking You just might be surprised. It's about empowerment. Feel empowered. Our class motto for Active Attacker course is turn fear and uncertainty into courage and confidence. I wrote an article on LinkedIn. Check it out. Thank you for your time and being patient with me. I apologize if it seemed like a little bit of rant, but I'm passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about protecting our citizens and continuing to serve my country the best way I can. And this is what I know. This is what I do. So, we'll see you for the next video. www.castledefense360.com. We have a lot of stuff on there. Just go check it out. Don't be afraid to pick up the phone, send an email, send me a message on LinkedIn. I'll answer you anywhere you contact me. Give us some feedback. We have a LinkedIn page, which is where this video is posted right now. So check us out. Give us a call. You might just be surprised at what we have to offer you. Again, thank you for your time, and thank you for watching, and I hope you learned a little bit, and I hope you wake up. I'm free for, ask me a question. Simple security question. I'll do my best to answer. If I can't, I'll guide you in the right direction, and I will share my resources to help educate people. I'm not doing this to be rich. I'm doing this to help people. That's all we have. We'll see you at the next training event. Probably some room clearing at my glass house. So, God bless you, and have a great and safe weekend.